like arranged marriages still happen.
Yeah, but
And
low-key arranged marriages
have
actually
been happening
last
for a long
longer than
time.
regular. Surprisingly, statistically, in
That's
some
what I'm
countries,
saying, though.
Arranged marriages work out
But
better.
that's what I'm saying. Like, your point of like, oh, these people should never be together is irrelevant. You cannot be with someone and be perfectly great co-parents.
I mean, like some of y'all should have
like some of those
some of
people
y'all should have never met each
co-parenting.
other and spawned. Like the kid was innocent, but y'all are just bad for that situation and for each other. And until until those people figure it out, you're gonna see more and more. Like, and I also think that this is an underlying thing in the NFL.
Let me finish my take. Oh,
kind of a rambling, but okay.
Yeah, because I was trying to get somewhere, but that's literally what you do on every issue. So you can do it, but I can't. But
I bring it back to the point. You just kept going.
All right, go ahead, bro. Talk.
You ain't gotta get mad now.
No, I'm mad because you always do that.
It's okay, sunshine. Yeah, but I make sense.
All right, go ahead.
So what I said
was... What's the next topic? Go ahead.
No, I was just getting my piece off.
It's your show. Go ahead.
Oh, now we're doing this?
Yeah.
You're doing this? You're tanking?
Yeah, let's go.
You're tanking Clipper Pete? Just like a Clipper. Gotta tank.
The point that I was trying to make is there's no reason for this kid to be in that situation, especially when you have all this forward-facing publicity of like you care for children, but you really don't because you're letting this happen in your own house, under your own brand, and it's stupid.
Did you say under your own brand?
Yeah, under the shield, like she's talking about.
I mean, not only does he represent the NFL, but him as an athlete, he is his own brand. So he's representing himself, whether if he's on a charity, whether if he's on a damn cereal box, he's representing himself, and he's being that image for other children too that are coming up and trying to be an athlete as well. So I just feel like it's not about, it goes more than just discipline, like he's saying. For your child to be in that type of situation, it's just unacceptable whatsoever. And I understand that there's some kids that need the ass beat. There's a lot. I worked with kids. I did that. But that's not, I don't think physical should just be like the only thing because that's all they know. And sometimes, and also too with the whole, like, even though I'm an outsider, like with football, like the whole, with the brain and because they keep classing. Yeah. I mean, that shit too is real. And they don't check that out. Like, especially like you said, they're having kids and then you're an athlete, you should definitely be aware. Like maybe you are, you have a temper and maybe you're not safe to be around your child like that. You need to learn how to, it's okay, men. It's okay. Like, I feel like men need to know, especially in, like, athletes, like, it's okay if you're emotional. It's okay if you don't know things, and it's okay to reach out for help because I feel like they have to, like, be that person.
Fake it till you make it. Be macho.
Yeah, be macho. And sometimes it's okay to, embrace that nurturing side. And people think, like, because you embrace that, it's a sense of emasculation, and you're putting a feminization on yourself, and it's like, no, like you're human. Like it, I'd rather a man be like nurturing to a child and know that, okay, yeah, he's this big ass guy, but guess what, he will protect my child. He's supposed to be a protector, not just, oh, I can just smash motherfuckers because I'm a big guy. You should protect your child and protect your family no matter what. And he didn't do that. He failed in all ends. And for him to put himself in this situation, publicity, no matter what, even if he didn't do it or not, and what the situation is or what happened and blah, 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 for your family to be in this spotlight for people to see, you already failed. Like, not saying you failed, but you did something wrong, and they need to acknowledge that. You get what I'm saying? Like, because I know all parent, like, I'm not a parent, but like, I know it. There's not a perfect parent, but you did something right if your child didn't feel like they were in danger, and right then and there they should recognize that they did something wrong.
And here's the kicker. I mean, this team pretty much what?
Ouch, you just said kicker. We're talking about the Chiefs organization.
And exactly, that's what I was getting to. This team basically cut Kareem Hunt off of a video where he
lied.
Playfully kicked a white woman. Yeah,
they blamed it. He petty kicked, like he petty kicked your dog.
Yeah.
Wait, he what?
He, like, this white girl pretty much was swinging on him, slapping him, kicking him, trying to fade all his female friends. Kicked her out of the room. And she kept trying to get back in. Yeah, I know there's other reports.
That
like,
part of
she
it
was
is
invited
debatable.
in, but then she got kicked out, and then she got mad, and then there was rah-rah on both sides.
And then too, like,
and she got kicked.
What makes me mad about shit like that, like, you're an athlete, like, you should know that your body is somewhat a weapon. Like, you know, like a boxer, their hands are registered as deadly weapons. Not saying that it's that extreme, but if you know that you can be in situations like this because of your money, don't you think you should play out like, okay, rather than kicking this bitch, even though she's crazy, let me try and do my best to remove her from the situation so it doesn't seem too crazy or call security.
I agree with you, but the whole only point that I'm trying to make, I'm not saying what he did was right. I'm just saying it's almost laughable to me that situation is worse because he lied about it.
But because Tyreek was honest the whole time.
Child abuse, regardless of who's at fault, he's at fault because he's a parent. They're both at fault, regardless.
Nobody outside the family broke your kid's arm. Either you or the mother did it.
Well, also too, let's be real. He kicked a white woman.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
I already said that, but I get labeled a race baiter when I bring it up.
We talking about a black man, his black child. They don't care,
which the system doesn't care about.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's not much news, but
because I'm pretty sure it's white people who beat their kids too.
He kicked the damsel in distress. Of course, they're gonna make that news. How dare he kick a white woman? And especially doesn't matter how. That's what I'm saying. I know the situation. I may not know the whole situation. So who am I to sit here and say, well, he should have been more safer? But I'm just saying, like, if you're an athlete and you know that you're gonna party and you know that there are crazy women out there that are gonna do crazy shit, or there's crazy men or crazy people, fans, whoever they are, they do crazy shit. I feel like they should at least learn and learn that patience and learn, like, okay, let me figure out how to de-escalate this situation by all means necessary without being physical unless it is necessary. And I don't like, especially like with this time with social media. Once again, we're in social media, like it's at the peak. Anybody can pull out their phones and tape you. So I feel like they should just be aware of that instead of blaming, other people. Like, well, shit, like that their eyes on you. So why are you mad that you got caught?
But to that point, I think we really need to stop acting like all athletes are role models. I'm sorry, they're not. That's why I agree with Charles Barkley. Not everybody is your role model. The mailman ain't my role model. So if he got a situation at home he's dealing with, his job is to deliver mail.
True,
not to be my moral compass.
Okay, yeah, the mailman is not the role model, but guess what?
That's some bullshit.
Yeah, but guess what? We breed our children.
That's a cop out, bro.
Yeah, because we breed our sons and shit to be athletes and shit. So they are
just playing devil's advocate.
No, as long as you're in the NFL and you're playing for that team, you are.
You are the 1%, bro.
You are a role model.
You are the 1%.
You're making enough money and you're on TV and.
But if you go from having nothing to having everything overnight, there's an adjustment period.
Money is one thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, just from a competition standpoint, you're literally the 1%. So you are not the VP and the CEO, but you're right there. You're a manager. You're like.
No,
you're someone I look up to.
They're the assets. They're the talent. Because
you're
the coaches,
you're the
1% and the GMs
of the
and the owners are making most of the money.
But you're the
players get the smallest
Again,
amount.
it's not about the money though. It's about the talent pool. It's about you being.
I get that.
At the top of the top, like you are it. Who else am I supposed to emulate?
They're huge.
That's why it's a
someone on your level. How about that? Because neither one. None of us are going to the league, bro.
That's a cop out.
I'm not depending on a stranger who doesn't know me from anything, and I don't know them or their situation to be my hero and my savior. That's personal accountability on your part. Stop having everybody be like, be like this athlete if you want to. But you need to know who you are first.
But look,
that's a cop out for people not trying to
take
responsibility for their influence.
You can't tell a child they gotta have a 10-year-old that they gotta have personal accountability because they see him as an icon.
You don't just you don't get to determine if you're a role model or not. You're a role model based off if people look up to you.
Okay, that's a fair point. But all I'm saying is, when it comes down to it, it comes down to personal accountability first.
When it comes down to it, people are always going to look up to you when you're in the 1% of something that they dream about doing.
Yeah, cats. I looked up to dope boys. Didn't mean I wanted to be a dope boy. I didn't follow their route. I was like, nah, that's cool. Y'all getting money. I want to get money. I just don't want to do dope and be drugged and get arrested and all that other shit, because that's not really.
But it's not about the money, though. That's what I'm telling you.
But I'm saying everybody has different motivations. They're human beings before they're the 1%. That's what y'all are failing to realize.
Right, and
they are human beings. If I get $1 billion tomorrow, guess what? I'm still Kenneth.
That's what makes a fucking role model, is that they are relatable, that they are like you, but they're better than you. They're the 1%.
Not necessarily.
That's what makes a role model.
Role models, and I feel like if we compare,
well, that's a tribute to you.
No, it's plenty of people who have somebody they look up to, who maybe was their moral compass. It's just people who got grandmothers that they look up to, and their grandma probably didn't really accomplish it in their life, or their grandfather, or their neighbor down the street who looked out for them.
But what makes them a role model? The people that look up to them. That's what I'm saying.
And
what I'm saying is,
themselves,
by de facto of being in the 1%, the elite of something that you do, something that a lot of people want to do, people are automatically going to look up to you because you rose up to the top. And you're like them.
But on the same token, how much do I owe people who didn't help me?
You don't owe people shit.
Okay, then.
You don't owe people shit.
You can't ignore that fact either.
But also, don't be mad. Don't be mad. Don't be mad when you're wearing New Balances and Puma because you don't have any brand accessibility.
New Balance gonna fuck you up.
But I'm just talking about, like, yeah, you're right. You can be Kawhi. You can be Tim Duncan. You can be soft-spoken. You can ride under the radar.
I was going more Charles Barkley.
Exactly. They're role models, but what I'm saying is...
Charles Barkley a role model?
You don't owe people shit. You don't have to be a role model. You don't have to be a brand ambassador. You don't have to be shit. You can just be a ball player. Fine. Cool.
If you're not going to be role model for all these kids, be role model for your own child. And he didn't do that.
That's fair. That's where I draw the line. Be better for your own children, your own seed.
But he didn't. He
don't owe me or you or Pete or anybody else anything.
I mean, I know that humans are not perfect. I'm not saying that these people are perfect human. I'm not telling them, hey guys, you gotta be a perfect human being because you have this much money. I get that when you get that much money overnight, there is a transition period. But they should also be aware of the things that are coming with them getting that much money. You getting all eyes on you, and people should be aware.
And let's be real.
Hold on. How do you know what's coming?
The change is not that gradual. That's a cop-out.
How, bro? You're not rich. You don't know.
Were you not a role model when you were a varsity athlete to freshman athletes?
I get that.
Were you not a role model when you were a freshman to Pop Warner players? That's what I'm saying.
I understand.
You're a role model the whole right way up. You're not just.
I'm not arguing.
Wake up.
I'm not arguing that.
Oh, people look up to me.
I'm arguing.
It's a cop-out.
Look at it from their perspective and argue it from that point. That's all I'm saying. If you look at it from their perspective, like, bro, Tyreek Hill probably came up through poverty and now he has all this money. Mike Tyson, perfect example. He didn't have a lot of.
Let me ask you something.
And he eventually fell off.
Let me ask you something.
Who? Mike Tyson?
Mike Tyson fell off.
Whoa.
Mike Tyson.
Maybe Mike Tyson fell out, but he has a lot of money.
Hold up.
Are you sure about that? Do you know?
Did Charles Barkley saying he's not a role model? Did that make him not a role model?
No, I'm not arguing.
Then. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not arguing the validity of what you're saying.
It doesn't matter if you don't want to be a role model. You are.
It kind of does.
It doesn't.
If you always act in a way that lets people know I ain't a role model to you.
His net worth is $3 million, by the way. So that's a decent amount.
Cool. That's fine. Net worth don't necessarily mean how much you got in your bank account, though. So net worth can say a lot of things, but that doesn't mean how much capital he has. Bottom line is, when it comes to that aspect, when we think of athletes, NFL players in particular, and I don't know why it's really foul that it only gets broadcast on NFL players, because we don't talk about hockey athletes when they're out there committing domestic violence and all this other stuff, and cops when they commit the most domestic violence amongst anybody. We don't talk about how they need to be role models,